It's morning at Marketplace.
Spillage there.
And we've invited these viewers over to put one of their favorite morning rituals to the test.
You ready for this?
A taste test, to be exact.
This is the best time of day to taste anything.
Like most of you, this bunch love to start the day with a glass of orange juice.
I will say I do have one glass a day.
But if they're thinking it's all sunshine and vitamins, we're about to pop some balloons. Alyssa Hamilton loves oranges. She just doesn't like what the juice industry does to them. And she should know because she's written a book on it called Squeezed, What You Don't Know About Orange Juice.
The orange juice industry has definitely profited from the idea that this is a simple, natural, direct product.
Is orange juice natural?
You can squeeze it at home and you're getting a natural juice. But most of the juices that you're buying in the store are heavily processed and engineered.
Engineered? That's not a word the big orange juice makers use.
Here's wonderful news for you and me. That Minute Maid gives more vitamin C.
This is how juice makers have sold it for decades, as if oranges fall off the tree and into your carton.
There are 16 fresh-picked oranges squeezed into each carton of Tropicana Pure Premium.
100% pure, 100% natural, from grove to glass.
Simply orange. Honestly simple.
But the truth is really not that simple. If the juice makers told you the real deal, here's how a commercial might look. Come join me.
By the time OJ reaches your table, this miracle of nature has become a miracle of manipulation. The oranges are plucked from their perch and land on an assembly line, where they're sprayed and squeezed into juice. Next it's here for pasteurization, heating up, then onto huge tanks where the juice can be stored for months, sometimes up to a year. The oxygen is taken out so nothing goes bad, but one pretty important quality does go: most of the orange flavor. So, how do they put it back in? Juice makers use something called flavor packs.
Okay, hang on a second. So you're saying that they make so much orange juice and store it for so long, and then they have people add flavor to it later?
Exactly.
How?
I asked for the precise time when the flavor is added. It's added. I was actually told we'd have to shoot you if we told you that. So
what?
There's a lot of secrecy around what they do because they don't want this to be perceived as a heavily processed product.
It's a secret formula for making money. In Canada, worth almost $500 million in sales. Pepsi, which makes Tropicana, got almost 2/3 of that.
Simply orange?
So how much added flavor are we buying?
What do you think? That's over
That looks good.
To figure it out, associate producer Anu and I are packing up samples, getting ready to send them off to a lab.
How'd I do?
I think mine's better.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm the host.
Flavor packs are made up of natural components of orange essence and oils, broken down, mixed, and matched, then rebuilt by chemists. Flavor packs help juice taste the same year-round. We're searching for one chemical in particular, ethyl butyrate. Juice makers know North Americans like the smell and equate it to a fresh squeezed orange. So, they boost flavor with it. We want to see for ourselves.
Okay, they're both marked.
Among the brands going to the lab, some from our taste test. Tropicana, Simply Orange, and Canadian brand Oasis.
With pulp. Not a pulp guy myself. You?
No, I like a little pulp.
Do you?
Yeah.
We also make freshly squeezed for a baseline.
All right, off to grandmother's house. Going to the lab.
2 weeks later, we find ethyl butyrate in all our samples. Now, the amount can vary depending on the crop and time of year, but the premium juice all have levels higher than freshly squeezed.
You could see it in the taste test. Again, I could smell immediately which one was fresh because it was palpably different than the smell of it was than the others. And the same goes for the taste.
Ethyl butyrate is naturally occurring in oranges anyway.
That's correct.
So what's the problem with adding it later in the process?
Well, you're not adding it back in the concentrations that exist in nature. So what you're getting back in these flavor packs is an engineered product.
Back at our taste test, we reveal how OJ makers boost flavor.
The fact is it's made a very different way. They add flavor. What do you think of that?
On a lot of the packages it says made from pure 100% orange juice. No sugar added, no water added. What is added? So we should be aware of that.
But added flavor is nowhere to be found on any label, despite the fact the Canadian Food Inspection Agency has rules saying it should. Our poll reveals Canadians want the full story. 95% of orange juice fans believe any added ingredient should be included on the carton. Our expert Alyssa Hamilton says OJ makers owe us the truth.
If you love your Tropicana or whatever orange juice it is that you like, and you know what you're getting and you know what you're paying for, fine, but know what you're getting. And we deserve to know.
And we're not being told.
And we're not being told.
Cheers.
Alex Herber thinks that's wrong. He finds out one way to get the CFIA to act is file a complaint, so he does.
Report of concern. Food labeling. All right, submit, and let's see what happens.
As for the orange juice makers, they argue they're just putting natural flavor back in juice that was lost during processing. And even though OJ is more science than nature, a label doesn't need to reflect that fact. Meantime, a long list of American consumers is forcing their hand, suing the big OJ makers for misleading them, charging premium prices for a juice that's so processed. No lawsuits here, but when we ask the companies from our taste test for an on-camera interview, they say no.
Some people might feel that they're being misled when they're buying a premium processed orange juice. Are they being misled?
If they're thinking that it's fresh squeezed, if they're thinking that this is what they're getting, that image, yes, they're being misled.
Juice makers may be keeping silent, but their secrets are out. The only thing left to reveal, the engineered OJ our tasters like best.
Oasis.
Oh my God. What?
So that's the favorite premium, but
there's no substitute for that aroma. Total different taste.
Fresh Squeezed gets top ranking.
Like you get not just the inside of the orange, you get like a full thing of flavor.
A surprise twist though. Many say they'll stick to the processed stuff.
Even the scent is so foreign to me. It's so foreign.
Fresh Squeezed I always thought was orangier and I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, it's fine. That's good. What did you think of the last one?
6, it tasted very much like fresh orange juice, but honestly, I get that it's fresh, I just didn't like it as much.
So the stuff that may be out of a box, you'd prefer than the one right out of the orange?
Honestly, I guess I'm just used to the whole marketed flavor of orange juice that fresh orange just doesn't do it for me anymore.
It apparently doesn't do it for Wayne Guerin's family either, even though they now know why premium juice tastes different from freshly squeezed.
Finding out which orange juice was the pure orange juice, and I may just start doing that at home.
Making freshly squeezed?
Yes.
No.
Maybe it's time to put the squeeze on OJ makers to be simply honest.